Hey, welcome, it's Cassie. Today we're going to make some cute little Easter Peeps bunnies, and the first thing you'll need to make these is the template, and I will leave the link for this in the description for you. It has a small, a medium, and a large size Peeps bunny. So you'll want to cut out your templates. So for today I'll use the medium-sized template. We're going to put some wax paper down, or parchment paper will work too. I just tend to always have stuff on my mat and then it gets into my clay, so I just like to use a clean sheet of parchment paper or wax paper to work on. The next thing you'll need is some Modelite, or you can also use Model Magic. I prefer Modelite for this project because it's a marshmallowy type of thing, and I think the Modelite looks a lot better, a lot more realistic than the Model Magic. But that's my preference, and you know, whatever you have or whatever you can get your hands on is just fine. So I'm going to take a chunk of clay out of here, and you can see what I mean about it looking marshmallowy. And then just work your clay around in your hands to get it in a nice ball and get it nice and pliable. And then just roll it into a ball. And then place it on your wax paper or parchment paper. And then we're just going to roll this out a little bit. If you don't have a little rolling pin that you can use like a glass or something that has a flat surface. That would work to roll out your clay. And we don't want this to be too thin because we want it to look like a real Peep bunny. So that's a little too small still. So let's do just a little bit more. Okay, so this is really important. We're going to just lay this on top of the clay, but if you just put this on, it's going to get stuck most likely. So what I like to do is just flip my little template over, and then I'm going to put a little bit of cornstarch on the back of it and just rub it around on there. And that'll keep it from sticking to your clay. So just place your little template on, and then take your scissors, and we're just going to cut around the bunny. And this doesn't have to be perfect. You can fix up the shape a little bit once you get it all cut out. And when you go into the little pointed areas, just use the tip of your scissors. It's a lot easier than trying to maneuver the back of your scissors in there. Okay, now be sure to put your excess clay back into your container so it doesn't dry up. And then just take your little template off. It should come right off if you've used cornstarch. You could also use flour if you don't have cornstarch. And it doesn't take much at all, just a tiny bit. And so now we're just gonna kind of go around and just fix up the edges, press in whatever doesn't look how you want it to look. Okay, so there's my Peeps bunny all nice and shaped. Now I'm going to put that aside, and we need to make the coating. So what I'm going to use for the coating on these is sand. And you could use glitter if you want to, but Peeps aren't really glittery, so I wanted these to look as realistic as possible. So I got this bag of white sand at Walmart. And then I have these alcohol inks that I'm going to use to color my sand. And so I'm going to do a purple one and a yellow. And I'll also show you, I made a pink one, but it's not quite dry yet. I'm going to pour a little bit of sand into my sandwich bag. Okay, I'm going to put a few drops of alcohol ink in and then mix it around and see if it's the color that I want. If not, then I'll add some more. Now, as I'm mixing this up, it looks like it's not the color of purple that Peeps usually are. So I'm actually going to add some sapphire blue to this and try to get it to more of that Peeps color. I also wanted to say, if you don't have alcohol inks, if you don't want to buy alcohol inks, you can also use food coloring. Just be cautious, because I have some food coloring that's gel food coloring and it has sugar in it. So I wouldn't want to use that on my fake bakes. But regular food coloring usually is okay, and it'll work basically just like this. You can also use paint, but if you use paint, you'll have to spread your sand out on like a baking sheet or something like that, some wax paper, and let it dry, because it'll be wet. With the alcohol inks, it's not wet at all. And then I also have a one that I made up ahead of time that I'm going to do in yellow. So I'm going to mix up some yellow here. Okay, so there's my yellow and there's my purple, and I forgot to show you all the colors I was using. So for the yellow, I just used yellow in this brand, and then I used purple and sapphire blue for the purple color. So the next thing you'll need is some Mod Podge, and it doesn't matter what finish it is, it's going to be covered with the sand, so whatever one you have will work. And I'm just going to brush this on. Now I'm going to try to get this as even as possible, because yesterday I made one of these as a trial run, and you can see it's streaky, and these spots where it's streaky is where I put the Mod Podge. Now I put this on clay that was wet, so I don't know if that streakiness is going to go away once everything's dried up, or if it's just going to dry that way. So to be safe, try to get your Mod Podge on really nice and even without any big brush strokes like that showing. You can also wait for your clay to dry if you want to. I'm not that patient, but you know, that would be a good way to go too. Plus, you don't have to worry about messing up the shape when you're working with it. But if you're impatient like me, then you can do it this way. So I've got a nice, hopefully even layer there. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of my sand on. And continue working on your wax paper, because then once you get finished here, you can just pick it up and dump the rest of your sand back into your bag so you don't waste any. Okay, so we've got the front. And the thing I really like about using the sand is you can still see a little bit of the white through, and that's how the real ones look. So I think that it turns out really awesome. Okay, so now I'm just going to go along the edge, the side. And then just dump some glitter around the edge too. I'm loving how this purple came out. It's so pretty. Okay, and then we'll just do the back side. And then you can touch up any little spots that you have that may not have gotten enough sand on there. So I was thinking I'll make this one a pop, like a lollipop. So I'm just taking a piece of a straw that I cut off, a paper straw, and I'm just pushing it up in there. And just make sure it doesn't come through on either side of your little peep. Okay, and now we need to put his eyes on. So Peeps have brown eyes and nose, so I'm going to use this melted chocolate from Apple Barrel. So the way I'm going to put these eyes and nose on is with the end of a paintbrush, and I'm just going to dip it into my paint and then touch it right on there. And there's this little face, so cute. And now I'm going to put a little bow on down here. I think it'll look cute. So I have some ribbon I got from Joann Fabrics last year. So I'm just going to tie a little bow with that. Okay, then I'm just going to hot glue the bow right underneath the little Peep bunny. And there is the cutie. There it is, so cute. Now I'm going to also do the yellow sand on one, so then I can show you all three colors. So I'm going to wipe this off because I had this purple sand, and I just want to make sure none of that residue gets onto the yellow. So I have this little one that I cut out yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one in yellow. So this one I'm going to use a little bit less pressure on my brush because it's smaller, so I want the eyes to be smaller, and you can even use a smaller brush if you want to. Do you like these Peeps candies? Because I think they're completely disgusting. Let me know in the comments if you like them or if you think they're nasty. Okay, so there's the little yellow one. I think I could have even made this yellow sand a bit brighter than this because the original ones are actually quite bright, I think. So here are the 3 sizes of the templates and the 3 different colors that I made. I'm not sure if there are other colors of Peeps. I don't think so. There might be a blue. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, here they are. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. And if you did, please give it a like. And thank you so much for taking your time to craft with me today. And I will see you next time.